I keep saying you can never go back. You can't change the past. The past is done. But sometimes when you look at the past, there is something that makes you laugh, makes you smile, gives you good feelings. Not always, but this one did. When I was very young, I had a friend, my only friend, and his name was Richard. We had so many adventures together. We made mud pies. We went through the forest, woods, whatever you want to call it, to the neighbor's farm, and they had a pond. And we would go to that pond and we would pretend we were chasing Blackbeard the pirate. We were going to capture him and we were going to sail the high seas on this raft that we tried to make. Well, the raft sunk. But we had a great imagination and the two of us had a lot of fun together. I don't know how old he was. He may have been my age, like maybe the same age or a year different, but we were so close in age it wasn't funny. But we were like best friends, brother and sister. I don't know if you could hear that, but my computer was telling me, you have a message. I had a phone call that was coming in. I've never had that before. Oh man. Well, anyway, Richard and I were like brother and sister. We were best friends. And, I loved him. I couldn't wait for another adventure, Blackbeard, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, the Lone Ranger and Tonto. I mean, we did all of that. We just loved it. And then one day we moved. I wasn't aware we were moving. Nobody told me. All of a sudden we moved. And I remember not understanding and what was going to happen with Richard and where's Richard? Why can't I play with Richard anymore? And I remember really crying and, because it was the loss of a friend. My parents never said anything about moving. It was the last thing you heard of. We moved several times and I was never told we were moving. I never had a chance to say goodbye. And so I carried that image of Richard and his friendship with me my entire life. And it just occurred to me that after all these years, I still think about him occasionally. Wonder how he's doing, But I was 6 years old when we moved. I'm 74. So I've missed him for a long time. I used to ask about him. I asked people in the family if they knew where he was, and everybody, oh no, we don't know anything about him. Don't know anything about him. And one time, when we got the internet, this is many, 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 many years later. When we got the internet and I was doing genealogy, I was trying to locate him. I didn't know how, but I was trying to. And I ended up talking to someone in particular, and I said, whatever happened with them? They were our neighbors, and whatever happened with them? Whatever happened to Richard? Oh, you don't want to find him, no way. Why? Oh, well, he was a bad apple. He ended up in jail, and he this and he that, and was telling me how bad that he was. And I went, really? Well, I don't understand. He never, ever seemed like a bad apple when I was around him. Of course, I was only 6 when we left, but I just couldn't believe it. In my heart, and my intuition told me he was not a bad person. He was not a bad apple. So many years later, I made contact with another family member that we had lost touch with and talked to her, and even she wouldn't tell me anything. Then I joined a group that was in my hometown where I grew up until I was 9. Initially where we lived, I was 6, and then the next house we moved again when I was 9. And, we lost touch with a lot of family. So I tried several times. When I got older and we did the genealogy thing and everything, I really did try to see if I could come up with something, and I never could. So I joined this group, and this group was the hometown, the whole area of both places where I lived was included. And I even posted something on that site, shared a picture of us, and said, I would just like to know how he's doing. I would like to know how his life was. I just want him to know I never forgot him. I never forgot our friendship and all the fun that we had together. But I was never successful to get in touch with him. So a year or so ago, it might be longer than that now, I don't know. I'm just going to say a year or so. Okay. I got in touch with 2 of his family members, which was really unbelievable because I couldn't believe I actually came across them. And so I just sent them a message and I asked them, I sent them the picture and I said, the only thing I want to know is how he's doing, if he had a good life, and to let him know that I never forgot him. So they did try to reach out to him to let him know, but nothing ever came of it. But I did find out what I needed to know. My instincts were right. He was not a bad person. He was in law enforcement his entire adult life. He retired from law enforcement. So I'm sorry, I don't believe he was a bad person, and I don't believe he ever went to jail for sure, unless he hauled somebody off to jail, which he probably did. Why would somebody lie about that? Were they trying to cover up something and didn't want me to know? I'm pretty sure that's it. But I have no way to find out, and I have no way to confront anybody about it because that person doesn't live anymore. So that's about the past. The past is gone. There's no way to retrieve it or find it or fix it or anything. I don't think I'll ever see him face to face. I don't think I'll ever even hear from him in the future. All I know is he was a good friend, a play friend. We played together and had fun. He was like my brother. And it's sad when you have a relationship like that and then it's gone through no fault of your own. So if he ever saw this, which I doubt, all I would want to tell him is, I still remember him. I never forgot all those good times we had together. And I only hope that his life was a good one and that he's still healthy and enjoying life. Yeah, that's all I ever wanted. But it probably will never happen. But that's okay. Because I'm putting it out here now. I loved him as a brother, and I will always have good thoughts and memories of him. And if he ever does see this, that's all I want him to know. And I wish we could have had some kind of contact. Wouldn't that have been fun to keep in touch, But that's life. There are people that I'm in touch with I'd rather not be. But that's life too. So there you go. The past is the past, and there's nothing you can do to retrieve it. You have memories. Some are good, some are not. This one was kind of a mixed bag. But it is what it is. People don't like that saying, but it is what it is, because you can't change it. You cannot change it. People are who they are. Some people lie. Some people live a lie. There's nothing you can do. But I still have my memory of him, and I still remember his smile. I can still remember this little voice, because he was young too. And I can remember early in the morning, he'd come running, from his house, and I'd go out the door, because in my era, you got up in the morning and you went outside early. You didn't come in until it was time to eat. You were outside. You did not stay in the house. There was no TV watching or anything like that. So you had to play, and you played hard, so that when you went to bed at night, you slept all night. None of this nonsense that's done today, sitting in front of a game console or your phone. We didn't do stuff like that. It wasn't available. But we made our lives the best we could. We played, we had fun, got dirty. And I'm really grateful that I had that good memory, that wonderful memory of a friend that I wish I still had, but it wasn't meant to be. Not long term. But I'm really grateful that I still remember it. I'll try to locate that picture and put it on the end for you, because he was so cute. He really was. And actually I was too. All right, well, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.